The galaxy was vast, filled with thousands of stars, planets, and countless life forms. The Galaxy Council was the only thing that kept peace in this wide universe. Representatives from many worlds came together to talk, share ideas, and make decisions that affected millions. For centuries, they lived by rules, treaties, and diplomacy. But now, everything was about to change. On the Council's main station, a huge orb floated in space. It was a place where the greatest leaders met. The room was filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. Some had wings, others had many arms. The air buzzed with nervous energy. Today, the Council was meeting for an emergency session. The reason was simple. The humans had done the unthinkable. The humans who had once been quiet members of the Council had suddenly cut off all communication. No more talks, no more treaties, no more peace. The message was clear. If the galaxy did not accept their demands, humans would act without warning. This shocked the entire Council. Admiral Torque, the grizzled leader of the Zorathian fleet, sat tense in his seat. His skin was a deep green and his eyes burned with worry. "This is madness," he muttered. "Humans have always been unpredictable, but this is a new level." Around him, whispers of fear and disbelief spread. In the center of the chamber, the council head, an ancient being called Malus, called for silence. Her voice echoed through the hall, calm but firm. "We must stay calm. We need to understand why humans have done this. We must try to reach them before war begins." But no one was sure if that was even possible. Messages sent to the human sector went unanswered. Diplomatic ships sent to talk were turned away. The humans had built a wall of silence that no one could break through. Meanwhile, on Earth, the human leaders watched the Council's reaction closely. President Keller stood tall in the command room of the newly built warship, the Resolute. His face was calm, but inside, he felt the weight of every decision. Around him, the bridge crew moved silently, preparing for what was coming. "All channels are still closed," said Lieutenant Mara, the communications officer. "No messages from the Council, no response from any species." President Keller nodded. "Good. Let them panic. We have warned them enough. If they want peace, they know where to find us. But we will not bow or talk to those who look down on us. It's time they understand humans are no longer the weak ones." Back at the Council station, the panic grew. Some members wanted to send a military force to Earth to force humans back to talks. Others feared that any attack would start a war no one could win. Ambassador Relic from the peaceful Lorian race stepped forward. "We must be careful. The humans have shown strength we did not expect. We should not rush into war." But Commander Drax, the leader of the warlike draconian species, growled, "We cannot show weakness. If humans break the rules, they must pay. We should strike first." The debate raged on. Outside the council walls, news spread fast. Traders, miners, and travelers all talked about the humans' sudden silence and threats. Fear took hold of many. In the midst of this chaos, a young council member named Lyra watched quietly. She was from a small planet, but her mind was sharp and clear. She believed there was more behind the humans' actions than anger or pride. Lyra decided to investigate. She asked for a small team to travel to the human sector secretly. The council was hesitant but agreed, hoping to find answers before it was too late. As the team prepared, the humans made their first move. A small human fleet appeared near a mining colony on the edge of the galaxy. Without warning, they fired warning shots. The colony's leaders sent frantic calls for help, but the humans refused any talks. The galaxy was shocked. The humans had shown their power and their will to act alone. The council realized this was only the beginning. The young team led by Lyra entered human space quietly, avoiding patrols and sensors. They wanted to find the truth behind the human silence and threats. When they finally reached the Resolute, they were surprised. The warship was massive, covered in armor that shimmered with unknown technology. The humans welcomed them but warned that time was short. President Keller met with Lyra and her team. His voice was steady. "We cut diplomacy because the galaxy ignored our warnings. We will not be controlled or threatened anymore. Lyra asked. What are you really planning, President Keller? Is there a chance for peace? He looked at her carefully. Peace only comes when respect is earned. Until then, humans will protect themselves by any means. The team left the meeting with many questions. They saw the humans' strength, but also their fear. Humans had changed. They were no longer the quiet species many had known. As the council received the report, the tension grew even higher. The galaxy was on the edge of war, and no one knew what the next day would bring. For the humans, the time to wait was over. The galaxy had pushed too far. The age of diplomacy was ending and a new chapter was beginning. The Resolute and its fleet prepared to move forward. The galaxy was about to learn a hard truth. Humans were no longer the weak, quiet race they once were. The stars blinked silently as the galaxy held its breath. What would come next? War? Peace? Or something no one could imagine? Only time would tell. The galaxy was tense. After the humans stopped all talks, many waited for their next move. But the humans did not speak or attack. Instead, they stayed quiet. This silence was strange and made everyone uneasy. What were the humans planning? Why were they not answering the calls? The galaxy waited nervously. Inside the human warship Resolute, the bridge was busy but calm. The crew worked with focus. Captain Mara stood near the window looking at the stars. Her eyes were sharp and serious. We have kept our silence as ordered, she said softly. The galaxy doesn't know what we are preparing. The humans had been building something secret. Their scientists worked day and night. They had a new technology hidden deep inside the Resolute. It was powerful, but they kept it a secret even from some of their own crew. Only the leaders knew its true strength. Back in the council, leaders were confused and worried. Some said humans were afraid. Others thought humans were planning something big. Ambassador Relek tried to calm everyone. Let us not rush to fear. Silence may mean strength or caution. We must watch carefully. But Commander Drax felt differently. Waiting only gives humans time. We should act now. Meanwhile, on a small mining planet near the edge of human space, alarms began to ring. Something strange was happening. Sensors detected a silent approach of ships. But these were not normal ships. They moved fast and hidden. The miners had never seen anything like this. The humans had sent special scouts to test the defenses of nearby planets. They wanted to know what others were capable of without starting fights. These scouts moved quietly and watched. No one could see them clearly. Lyra and her team were still in human space. They watched the humans carefully. They wanted answers, but humans kept their plans close. During their stay, Lyra noticed how organized and calm the humans were. They did not rush or panic. Instead, they moved with purpose. One evening, Lyra asked President Keller again, "Why do you hide your power? Why not show the galaxy your strength to stop this fear?" Keller smiled a little. Power is not only what you show, it is what you keep until it is needed. We want peace, but not at the cost of respect. When others see our strength, they will think twice. The council outside grew more nervous. Rumors spread that humans had new ships that could move faster than anything else. Some said they had weapons that could disable entire fleets without a fight. Ambassador Relek wanted to believe in peace, but even she felt the change. The galaxy was no longer the same place where talk solved problems. The humans had changed the rules without telling anyone. At night, the stars seemed colder. Traders and travelers whispered about the silent humans. Some hoped for peace, others feared war. But all agreed on one thing: humans were no longer easy to ignore. Lyra looked at the sky one last time before leaving human space. She knew the next meeting of the council would be harder than ever. The galaxy was on the edge of a new era, and the humans held the key. The quiet before the storm lasted, but no one knew how long. Everyone waited, watched, and prepared. The galaxy held its breath, waiting for what the humans would do next. The thieves. Galaxy held its breath as uncertainty grew deeper. The silence from the humans was no longer just mysterious. It was a challenge. Every council member wondered what this quiet meant. Were the humans preparing something new? Or was it a sign of a hidden plan nobody could guess? Questions filled the space, but answers were hard to find. Inside the massive human warship, the Resolute, life moved with calm urgency. Captain Mara stood on the bridge, watching the endless stars. She felt the weight of many eyes watching them, waiting for a move. The crew worked steadily, knowing their mission was far beyond simple defense or attack. It was about change in how the galaxy saw humans forever. Scientists and engineers worked deep within the ship's core. They focused on a project kept secret even from most of the ship's crew. It was a new kind of technology, one that could shift power in ways no one imagined. It was not about weapons or battles. It was about control over space and time itself. The Resolute was more than a warship. It was the first step in a new kind of future. Outside the human sector, the Council grew restless. Ambassador Relic, once hopeful for peace, now saw a new path forming. Humans are not just refusing talks, she told her peers quietly. They are rewriting the rules of engagement. We must understand them before the moment slips away. Commander Drax disagreed, believing strength meant action. We wait and watch, but humans gain every second. Soon, it will be too late to stop them. Meanwhile, Lyra and her small team still traveled, in secret near the human borders. They noticed something strange. Humans were no longer hiding their ships. Patrols moved openly and communication lines buzzed with coded messages. The humans were preparing, but not for a fight, at least not in the way others expected. One evening, Lyra sat with President Keller during a quiet moment. She asked, "You speak of respect and peace, but your silence has made the galaxy afraid. How do you plan to end this?" Keller looked at her steadily. Peace must be earned through strength and clarity. Silence is a tool. It forces others to listen. Soon we will offer a new way to the galaxy, a way that cannot be ignored. Back at the Council, news arrived that changed everything. A human fleet had appeared near a disputed system. Instead of attacking, they offered to share advanced technology with a small group of neutral planets. This unexpected move surprised many. Was this a sign of goodwill or a strategic move to gain influence? The offer created debate. Some saw hope for peace. Others feared a hidden agenda. Ambassador Relic argued, "This could be a chance to rebuild trust. We must consider it." Commander Drax was quick to warn, "We must not be fooled. Humans think in ways we do not understand. Their gifts may come with unseen costs." In the outer colonies, traders whispered of human kindness and power. Some said humans were changing, becoming leaders instead of threats. Others stayed cautious, watching every move carefully. Lyra knew the galaxy stood at a crossroad. The humans were no longer just players in the game, they were setting the rules. The coming days would decide if the galaxy would adapt or fall into chaos. As the stars shone silently, one thing was clear. The humans were ready to reshape the future, and no one could say what that future would bring. The galaxy was restless. After the humans' surprising offer of technology, many worlds buzzed with talk and debate. Was this a genuine gift or a clever move? The question lingered everywhere, but the humans kept their calm, their silence now filled with confidence. It was as if they held the future in their hands, and the galaxy had to choose what to do next. Inside, the Resolute Captain Mara prepared for a meeting unlike any before. The human leaders wanted to show more than power. They wanted to show vision. A new plan was ready, one that could unite some worlds and change old rivalries into new partnerships. Mara felt the weight of this moment. It was not just about ships or technology, it was about trust and hope. Meanwhile, Ambassador Relic worked hard to bring different council members together. The galaxy was divided, some eager to accept human help, others suspicious of their true goals. Relic believed peace was still possible if leaders could listen and understand. "We must look beyond fear," she told them. This could be a chance to rebuild, not destroy. Yet Commander Drax prepared for another path. He gathered fleets quietly, warning that the humans' real intentions were still unknown. "We must be ready," he said. "If humans want control, we cannot wait to fight." On a distant world, traders watched with interest as new human technology arrived. Machines that could clean air, fix broken tools, and help farms grow better. The people there were amazed and hopeful. They started to believe humans might be more than warriors. They might be friends. Lyra returned to the council with stories from the front lines. She spoke of hope and fear, of new alliances forming and old ones breaking. "Humans are offering us a new way," she said, "but we must decide if we trust it or reject it." The council's next meeting was tense. Some leaders wanted to accept humans' offer and begin a new era of peace and cooperation. Others warned that trusting humans might lead to loss of freedom. The debates were long and passionate, with every voice raising fears and hopes alike. At the same time, inside the human ship, scientists made a breakthrough. Their new technology was more than tools. It could help connect distant worlds in real time, sharing knowledge and ideas faster than ever before. This could change how the galaxy worked. It could end old rivalries by bringing people closer. But not everyone wanted this future. Some factions prepared to resist, fearing loss of power. Shadows moved behind council walls, plotting to keep the galaxy divided. The risk of conflict still hung heavy. Captain Mara stood again on the bridge, looking at the stars. The galaxy was at a turning point. The humans had taken a step forward, but the path ahead was uncertain. Trust was fragile, and old fears were hard to break. As the Resolute moved quietly through space, a message came in. It was from a distant planet, a small world untouched by the big conflicts. They accepted the humans' offer and invited them to help. This small step gave hope to many. The galaxy waited. Would others follow? Could peace grow from this fragile start? Or would old fears and new rivalries bring back the darkness? The future was still unclear. But one thing was certain: the humans had changed the game forever, and now everyone had to play by new rules. The galaxy was watching closely. The small world that accepted the humans' help became a symbol, a test of what was possible. Messages of hope spread quietly, but not everyone believed peace could last. Many waited, wondering if this new alliance would bring change or chaos. Inside, the Resolute Captain Mara stood at the command center, her gaze steady. The ship was no longer just a tool of power. It was a beacon of possibility. The humans had opened a door, but the galaxy had to choose whether to walk through it or close it forever. The quiet strength of the humans was different from anything the galaxy had seen before. Ambassador Relic traveled between worlds, speaking with leaders and citizens. She told stories of hope and shared the promise of cooperation. "We can build a future together," she said. "One where old fears are replaced by new friendships. The humans have shown us a way." But shadows still lingered. Commander Drax and his followers worked in silence, gathering support. They believed that trusting humans too much was a risk the galaxy could not afford. "We must be ready to defend ourselves," Drax warned. "Not all gifts come without strings." On the small world helped by humans, life began to change. New technology brought clean water, stronger homes, and better crops. The people smiled with hope, but they also watched the stars, wondering what might come next. The story of this planet spread across space, inspiring others and sparking debate. Lyra, now a trusted envoy between humans and the Council, felt the weight of her role. She met with leaders from many worlds, sharing news and listening to fears. "Change is hard," she told one council member, "but standing still may be harder. The humans have shown courage. It is up to us to decide what comes next." In the council chambers, a vote was called. Should the galaxy accept the humans' offer fully or hold back? The debate was long and filled with tension. Voices rose, some filled with hope, others with doubt. When the vote came, it was close. But a majority chose to move forward, opening a new chapter for the galaxy. As the decision spread, many prepared to celebrate. Yet Captain Mara knew the real work was just beginning. Building trust was one thing, keeping it was another. The Resolute moved on its next mission, bringing help to more worlds and showing that the humans' promise was real. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, secret meetings were held by those who doubted. They planned quietly, watching for any sign of weakness. The galaxy was fragile and old conflicts could flare again at any moment. But for now, hope shone brightly. The humans and their new allies worked together, proving that even the deepest fears could be faced with patience and understanding. The stars above held the future, full of possibilities and challenges. The galaxy had taken a step toward peace, guided by the quiet but firm hand of humanity. What came next was unknown, but the journey had begun. The galaxy was shifting in ways no one expected. After the Council's decision to accept the humans' offer, new connections began to form. Worlds that had once looked at each other with suspicion now shared ideas and resources. The quiet strength of the humans had sparked a slow but steady change, a change many hoped would last. On the Resolute, Captain Mara watched as diplomats, scientists, and explorers worked together. The ship was now more than a warship. It was a moving center of learning and cooperation. Every day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to build bridges between different peoples. Ambassador Relic felt a renewed sense of hope. She traveled from world to world, seeing how the humans' gifts were making a difference. Clean energy systems lit up cities, water purifiers brought life to dry lands, and new medical technologies saved countless lives. The message was clear. Humanity was offering more than power, they offered a future. Yet the path was not easy. Old rivalries and fears still cast shadows over many places. Some worlds resisted change, clinging to traditions and suspicion. Commander Drax and his followers continued their quiet efforts, warning that the galaxy must not forget caution. Trust is earned, not given, he reminded those who would listen. Lyra found herself in the middle of these tensions. As a bridge between humans and the Council, she worked tirelessly to ease fears and promote understanding. We must keep talking, she urged during meetings. Only through communication can we build the peace we seek. One evening, a new challenge arose. A distant system, known for its isolation and strict rules, rejected all contact with humans and their allies. This world's leaders feared losing their independence and control. They sent a message. No outsiders were welcome. The Council debated how to respond. Some argued for respect of the planet's wishes. Others feared that isolation could lead to conflict later. Captain Mara was called upon once again. She knew that force was not the answer. Instead, she proposed sending a team of envoys with gifts of knowledge and goodwill, hoping to open a door rather than break it down. The envoys traveled to the isolated world, facing suspicion and cold silence. But slowly, through patient talks and small acts of kindness, they began to build trust. They shared stories, helped with simple problems, and showed that cooperation could be a path to strength. Back on the Resolute, the crew watched with quiet pride. Their mission was no longer just about power or war. It was about hope, connection, and the future. As the stars moved overhead, the galaxy learned an important lesson. Peace was not a gift to be taken lightly. It was something to work for, day by day, with courage and patience. The humans had started a change that could last for generations. Whether the galaxy would embrace it fully was still uncertain, but the first steps had been taken. And for now, that was enough to light the way.